We are live streaming to YouTube. We are in the back room here waiting for just a couple more minutes, or actually less than a minute, about 30 seconds away from showtime here for AbilityMKE Now. So hang tight as we are about to get rolling. In 10 seconds. Welcome to AbilityMKE Now on River West Radio. AbilityMKE Now is a show all about integration, bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have different abilities, and here at AbilityMKE Now, we dive into this topic of diverse abilities. The concept of disability hits a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical or mental disabilities, the deaf and hard of hearing community, blindness, chronic pain, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction, and the list goes on. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own or with people we know. Here at AbilityMKE Now, we break down the barriers and celebrate the ability in all of us. It is a great day here to be getting together again with AbilityMKE Now. It just so happens we have had the first snow of the year happening here in the last few days. And, I'm not ready for it. It's amazing that, we all know winter's coming. The snow that's Milwaukee, right? It's all part of it. We deal with the cold and the conditions that come with it. One thing that I do like to remind everybody is with snow comes shoveling. A lot of different pieces with that, right? One thing is obviously don't overdo it. Do it in moderation. Do what you can do as you can do it. But also, it's important to do things like shoveling that sidewalk, including any ramp area at a corner, or shoveling out the fire hydrant area. All that stuff that, if you don't have to think about it, you don't, or you don't necessarily want to do it, and hoping Mother Nature takes care of it for you. But you know what? The person that is next walking through there may not be walking. Maybe they're rolling. Maybe who knows what's going to be happening. And having that walkway, having that pathway open and ready to go, that's kind of important. I know it's not always convenient, but maybe you can buddy up with neighbors and can cooperate on some of that too. There's all sorts of ways to make that work easier. So that's ironically for me, that is one thing I do think about when I am thinking about, oh my goodness, the snow's flying. Now, for us, actually, where we live, we don't have sidewalks right in front of us. So I'm also saying that knowing I'm kind of spoiled that I don't have to worry about that part necessarily. But up to our house, we do have a walkway that we have to keep clear. We want to make sure it's safe for whoever is on our area here. So if you have sidewalk in front of your place of business, any of that, take care of it, make it work for everybody. Just my little 2 cents worth there that I do like to remind people of that it really is important. So and why do I say, another reason I say that, I have a friend who's a wheelchair user. I've been out and about with him in the snow before. It is not fun to be spinning your wheels because where you are trying to walk through is not shoveled or it's too slushy. And I can't even imagine the panic it would be if I am by myself and I'm trying to roll through an area in a wheelchair and literally my wheels are spinning because of the conditions. It's like when you're in your car and you have that kind of thing happen. That's no fun. What if you can't get to where you're going because conditions don't allow and you're literally stuck and you're outside, out in the cold, in the elements? We really do have to have some respect towards all that and remind ourselves, it really is important. So enough on that. Just thought it's worth sharing that reminder. With that, November's here. Hi, holidays are coming up. It is going to be a busy, busy time for so many of us in the upcoming weeks. It's a fun time. It's great. It is so much fun to think about the opportunities ahead, the opportunity to have an excuse to get together with friends and with family, and to take time to remember what's important, and to hopefully take time to enjoy yourself and relax and have some fun and get rejuvenated. Because, at these holiday times, it is so easy to get caught up in the hustle bustle. Oh my gosh, I have gifts I have to buy. I need to go do this. I need to go do. There's so much that is so easy to get caught up in and be stressed out by the holidays. There's, oh my goodness, there are so many different levels even with that. Some people like getting together with friends and family over the holidays because, some of us, that's the only time we really can, because you have enough time off, maybe have to travel, maybe have more involved in order to make that happen. For some people, maybe it's a little stressful. Maybe there's a reason you don't necessarily get together all the time. We love our families, right? But not everybody always gets along. So, try to have that grace, try to have some patience, and to remember that about ourselves, and realize, even as we talk about often on the show, that we don't know what another person has been through. We don't know what their walk of life has been. This whole idea of disability, it, like we say, it hits a wide range of possibilities. We don't know what their life has been like. I don't go through my life using a wheelchair to get around, so I really can't have as good of an appreciation for that as, obviously, as somebody who that's their mode of transportation, and their mode of quote unquote walking is to use wheels. That's not something that I have as my exact history, right? So I have I've used a wheelchair at different times for things like sporting events. Wheelchair sports, that's a thing, right? That's a fun thing. If you have a chance to do that, do it. So that is something that, until you really have a chance to use those other options and opportunities like that, you don't have the same appreciation as somebody who is doing that full time. That's that whole thing of, if you have walking a mile in somebody else's shoes, that concept, although we can't actually do that, right? We only can do our own life. Taking that moment to have the thought process, to have the empathy, to have that idea of, and consciousness of, I wonder what it's like for them to have to do things different than what I do. And that's really all it is, right? It's not that one's better or worse or anything like that. It literally is just different. It's different from what I know, because that's just, I only have my own experience to base things on, right? Same with everybody else. And if you're somebody who's using a wheelchair every day, your experience on a daily basis is different than mine. It's just the way it is. So sometimes I think it helps for us to take that step back and try to have the patience, have the appreciation, have the acknowledgement within our own thought process, to remember that, and to kind of, keep that in mind. So as holidays approach, as we do spend time with people that we choose to spend time with, have that thought beyond just what I was saying. Have it, take it that step further of, you have no idea what their day at work has been like for the last day, week, month, year. You have no idea what their day in, day out has been, because you're not living it. Same with them. They don't know what you've been through. People don't know what my days, they can have appreciation. We can all have something of a thought of what we think is going on. But, we really don't. We don't know. That's where asking and inquiring and being interested in what is going on with another person really goes a long ways. As I've heard multiple times from Kurt, and from some of the activities that we've had the privilege of being with, just that thought of being interested instead of trying to be interesting. I mean, really think about that. Being more interested in what's going on with somebody else, and going down that path with them and asking questions, really connect with others to figure out how they're doing. Personally, I find it real easy to talk about how I'm doing because I'm living it. I know it. I know it better than anybody else, right? You know what's going on with you better than anybody else. If you really want to make a connection with somebody, whether it's with a family, with your friends, with somebody you happen to meet tomorrow, being interested in them and focusing on them versus being trying to be interesting by puking on them with all sorts of things that's going on in your world, odds are that person's going to walk away thinking very, very highly of you. I've heard it relayed where somebody after the fact is saying, that was the best conversation I've ever had with somebody I've just met, when all they were is they were the focus of the conversation. So obviously it was something that they enjoyed, because most people, really, we enjoy talking about ourselves, don't we? It, it's natural, it's normal, that's just the way it is. It's nice to have attention on ourselves. So thinking that way, think about the other person, think about, as you're connecting with people, as people are going through this time over these next few weeks where life, it gets busy. We do get busy, we have all our plans, we have all our high hopes and goals, and some of us with high expectations of how is this event going to go, how's this family gathering, how's it, whatever it is that we're planning and looking forward to, however it is already preconceived in our minds, keep your mind open to what it is for the other people that are there as well, because they probably had the exact same type of experience but from their perspective. So again, connecting with people and really thinking about how is it for the other person, and focusing on that, and focusing on how can I make it a good experience for them, more than likely it's going to automatically end up making it in some way a better experience for me too. So if that's something you've never thought about or never tried, there you go. There's a thought for planting that seed. That is something that I've similarly had learned from some friends that have disabilities, that when, for example, if somebody is using a manual wheelchair and that's their normal mode of transportation, they're used to wheeling themselves, and for them that's their legs, right? That's quote unquote that's their legs. I get from here from point A to point B walking. They get from point A to point B by wheeling themselves in their wheelchair. I've seen it a number of times where somebody just trying to be helpful and thinking what they're doing, it's got to be a helpful thing, where they'll just come up behind the person in the wheelchair and grab onto those handles and start pushing the person without even asking. They just, that it's coming from a good place in their heart that they want to do a good thing, they want to be helpful, but they didn't ask. They just hopped right in and did what they did, again with good intentions. But you know what? Take it that next step. Ask the person. You know what? They're going to appreciate the fact and respect the fact that you asked. They can have the choice then of saying yes or no. It's up to them, right? Just because it's a place coming from a good place within us doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best thing for that other person, because really you're making a decision for them. If you just grab the back of, those handles on that wheelchair and start pushing for them without having asked, you took a choice away from them. Good intentions or not, it's still it's their choice, right? It's their mode of transportation that you're messing with. So just throwing that out there, because I'm one that I'm guilty. I've done that, until somebody actually had that conversation with me and said, here's another way to think about that. And that really hit home with me. And since a friend woke me up to that fact, now I've seen that's where I've actually seen it elsewhere. And again, not to say it's a bad thing. It is coming from a good place within us, right? However, I am, again, planting that seed so that as you're interacting with people, like I say, I have the holidays obviously on my mind because we're getting into that season, seeing snow and all that, that I just kind of instantly gravitate that way. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. We all have pieces that start to kind of uh, ring true and make us think about different things. So snow's one for me. Seeing snow, I automatically start getting kind of feeling like, okay, festive time. It's time to start thinking holidays. And for us, actually, for me personally, with my family, we've got several birthdays coming up. We've got obviously Thanksgiving's coming up. Christmas will be here before you know it. All these things. And it makes me think. So I'm just sharing some of the thoughts that have been coming to me with all of that. So, with that, I'm actually going to kind of switch topics here just a little bit. A couple of the things I wanted to share. So, again, this is Ability MKE Now, and my name is Sue Roskoff. We've been here for a very long time and absolutely love the opportunity to share with everybody the different things that are hot topics and friends that we've met that we know have good things to share. So, one thing I do want to definitely share is a group that we do a lot with, Happy Neighborhood Project. They just yesterday rolled out Happy Neighborhood Project, HNP. So we talk about HNP a lot. A lot of our guests that we've had join us on the show have been friends that we've met through HNP. They are, so what is that first? So it is an online networking organization. So they, back when COVID hit, actually before COVID, they did in-person meetings, and it's all like it's business networking. It's a way to meet people. It's a way to share what I do, a way to learn what you do. It's all that. When COVID hit, they turned to Zoom and started doing online networking meetings. I have the privilege of saying I'm actually one of the co-hosts with the what was the Wisconsin Minnesota group, because they set it up mostly as regional type settings, which realistically you could attend any meeting. It doesn't really matter where you're from, but it gives it some sort of a basis. Well, they just rolled out HNP 2.0, and it is going to be a really, really nice step forward with what's going on within this organization. So, Happy Neighborhood Project, it, for what it's worth, I absolutely love that it has to do with happy, and it focuses on happy and seeing everyone around the neighborhood. And we totally refer to it, even though we're on Zoom, where it's all part of the neighborhood. It's fun. It's a great organization. And okay, so HNP 2.0, they have revamped things where they have consolidated some of the different state-based organizations and meetings that we were having, and have made them now more regional. So our group that we were Wisconsin, Minnesota, now the Michigan group is rolling into our same little mix. I think it's just that one that rolled in with us, I believe, if I'm understanding correctly. But we are now called North US. So we are part of the North group. Me personally, I feel like I'm a Midwest kind of girl, but there was already a Midwest group, so they are maintaining the Midwest title. So it makes me wonder if you're, me being local here, I consider this to be part of the Midwest. I kind of wonder with the others that did the naming of this being from way down south, as in like, Florida south, or California or New York. When you look at the folks that did the naming of this, it really does make me wonder how the rest of the United States thinks of our region, because I know we've been called things like the flyover states and all that. But anyway, we are now the North, and our meeting time has changed. So now every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, I am on Zoom with a fabulous group of people. And even just yesterday, met some new people that I've never met before. And what a pleasant surprise it was to have the chance to meet the folks that were on there. And I am looking forward to being able to bring some of them here so that I can share them with with more than just myself. I'm not going to keep them just for me because they're too good to not share. So I look forward to that happening soon. So with those adjustments that they made, they used to have a lot of overlap. I know like there was a California group that met at the same time as our Wisconsin Minnesota group. There was a lot of overlap that took place. So you had to pick. It's like if I'm available at that time of day to do some connecting with people, you had to choose. Now you don't have to choose because they now have it set up. So there is only one meeting at each hour of the day that they're offering meetings. So that is an improvement. That is a big improvement, I think. So I'm very excited for that. I am excited for the people I am going to get to meet soon because of the revamping they're doing. And it you know, I always forget the part that until I started doing this business networking kind of thing, I really didn't understand what it was. I kind of wonder how many other people are in the same boat as that. It's like, what do you mean? What is this? It's like kind of understand what the concept is, kind of, So just to be very clear, it is a chance to meet other people if you have a business that you like to promote, if you have, you're basically sharing something about who you are or what you do with other people. And it's a chance to find out about them. Remember that part I was talking about earlier with being interested in others? It's a chance to get interested in what other people are doing and find out how you can help each other out. That in the end, because there's no selling, there's none of that kind of stuff. That's not part of what that is. It is something where it's truly a chance to connect one-on-one with other people, and or in small groups, because some of the pieces we actually go into breakout rooms. So say there's 20 people that come to a meeting, there'll be a breakout room where you'll get to meet and talk with, maybe 4 or 5 other people. And there's also a chance later on in the meeting to do like a one-on-one with somebody. So it's literally just the two of you in a breakout room finding out about each other and what you can do to help each other, basically. So that's why I like this as much as I do, because it is a way to build great connections with people, meet some of the most amazing people. I still am blown away by the diverse, amazing, wonderful group of people that I have met over the last couple of years with just taking that chance and going out and being interested in people. You'd be surprised at what you can learn and how much you personally can grow and how much you can end up helping other people out. We've done a lot with a group called Project Die Hard. There's a gentleman that we met actually through this type of effort, and he's been on here before. Brian Gibson's his name. He is the founder of Project Die Hard. Projectdiehard.org is the website where you can see what is it all about. And he is in a very exciting place right now within his organization. He has a property that was donated to the organization in Makanda, Illinois. It's a 20-acre property. It has a 10,000 square foot building on the property. And the goal, the end point of this experience, of this place, of this purpose, the whole thing has to do with serving the veteran population. More specifically, those that are coming back from active duty. There's going to be a place on the property there where I believe the number is a dozen individuals. There'll be living quarters available for as many as a dozen individuals and a couple of families where they can be located there during their transition time. For the most part, I believe that is where the most need is, for as folks are coming back from transitioning from active duty military back to civilian life. It's very different. I've never been part of the military, so I only can base what I know off of what's been shared with me, because I personally have not had that experience. So understanding what is really needed is something that only other vets can truly appreciate. It's that whole thing of walking a mile in someone else's shoes, right? And that's where uh, a big piece of this stems from the fact that veteran suicide is it, it's off the charts, unbelievable how high the rate of suicide is within that veteran community. I remember back at least a decade ago that there was a film called Project 22 that was put together. We got to see it. We actually got to meet the guys who put this together, and it was eye opening to understand that the statistic at that time was that 22 veterans per day lose their life to suicide. And that was over a decade ago. 22 a day. That blew me away. That was the whole idea of the effort that was put into this film and the documentary, that all the things that went into that. The whole idea was to increase the awareness of this across the country. And they had a showing of that film here in Milwaukee. I was there. They had it at the Harley Davidson um, uh, uh, was at the museum, I believe it was. Gosh, it's been a little while now, but it was downtown at Harley, and it was amazing. I loved what they put together. The downside is to understand that today the statistic has gone the wrong direction. It used to be 22 per day. Now we're talking more like 47 per day. I cannot even fathom how that's possible. It I honestly I cannot wrap my head around that. I can't. I don't understand how it could have gone so far in the wrong direction. And that is a big piece of why I am so excited that organizations like Project Die exist, and what efforts Brian is putting in to help, to make a difference, to do all the things he's doing is an absolute godsend. It's a blessing. It's amazing, and I'm excited to see the opening happen. Actually, so I was just gonna say here, he has the building. Everything is it's moving forward. They're passing their inspections. There's a lot of pieces that are finally getting lined up where he's going to have. He's calling it a soft opening at the end of this month. It is 28 days from now, 27 days from now. 27 days from now, they will be at a point where doors are open and they can start fulfilling their mission. They've been spending months and months setting the groundwork, doing all the things that they need in order for this opening to actually happen, and they are at the cusp of it happening. So all I can say to that is, stay tuned. I'm sure we'll have more updates on that as things happen. I will see what I can do to get Brian back in here sometime soon. Hopefully before the end of the year, I can find a time with him, because he is also doing with. I mean, his entire life is devoted to making this all happen, and he is going to be on Monday nights doing a Mission Monday update. So we are definitely going to be participating with him in getting the updates out so people understand what is happening, what's the status, what can I do. And uh, I can't say enough good things about what is happening, what he's doing, where it's going, and the excitement that is there. And in the end, the lives that he is impacting and saving. And it's wonderful. It's a great organization. I'm excited for where they are, for how far they've come, and for where they're going. So Project Die Hard is amazing. Love everything about it, and it just, you can hear it in my voice. I'm excited about what's going on there. So with that, I'm thankful for the chance to give to share some thoughts, give some updates, and look forward, because there are so many great things to look forward to in the upcoming months here. Uh, I'm excited. I'm grateful. So Ability MKE Now is all about enjoying life here together. And I look forward to more and more of that. And with that, I thank